What if I told you the richest empire in history didn't fall from poverty, but from too much wealth? An empire flooded with gold and silver, a kingdom so powerful the sun never set on its lands, yet it collapsed from the inside out. This is the real story of Spain, the empire that believed treasure made it unstoppable, and never saw the silent curse hidden within its own gold. Imagine this: a world where gold flows like rivers, and silver pours down from mountains. A world where an empire believes its wealth is limitless, and its power eternal. This was Spain, the Spain of the 16th century, a kingdom so vast and so rich that people said the sun never sets on the Spanish Empire. But behind this brilliance, behind the glitter of gold and the shine of silver, lay a slow, silent curse. A curse powerful enough to bring the mightiest empire of its age to collapse. Today we uncover that story, not just through battles or kings, but through economics, society, ambition, and the hidden cost of endless wealth. A new world and a new illusion. When Spain discovered the Americas, it believed it had found paradise. Ship after ship returned across the Atlantic, their hulls heavy with treasures from Mexico and Peru. And then came Potosi, a mountain so full of silver that people said it could feed the world. Miners carved tunnels deep into its heart. The sound of hammers echoed through the Andes. Silver dust shimmered in the air. Spain believed this endless stream of silver would guarantee its supremacy forever. But wealth, when too abundant, creates an illusion, a dangerous one. Prices began to rise across Europe. Bread, tools, clothing, everything became more expensive. Inflation was spreading like wildfire, and at the center of it all stood Spain. Why build industries? Why invest in agriculture? Why support merchants and craftsmen when gold and silver arrived effortlessly? Spain chose the easy path, and that choice would haunt it for centuries. Power demands a price. While riches flowed into the empire, its ambitions grew just as rapidly. Spain saw itself not as a kingdom, but as the defender of Catholic Europe. Wars ignited everywhere, against Protestants in Germany, against the Ottomans in the Mediterranean, against rebels in the Netherlands, and against England across the sea. Each conflict demanded more money, more soldiers, more ships. And then came the Armada, the Invincible Armada, a fleet so massive and so costly that it was meant to reshape the balance of power. But the sea had other plans. Storms swallowed ships, winds shattered formations, and when the fleet was gone, so was a fortune. On maps, Spain grew larger, but in its treasury, a void was forming. Department, the invisible enemy. To keep fighting, Spain needed loans, and Europe's bankers, especially the Fuggers and the Genoese, were eager to provide them. But loans come with chains of interest, chains of deadlines, chains that tighten each time you fail to pay. Spain's entire economy became tied to the arrival of silver fleets. If a storm delayed them, if pirates attacked, if production slowed in the mines, the entire empire trembled. 3 major bankruptcies struck Spain within 50 years: 1557, 1575, 1596. Each one brought new restructuring, new debts, new desperation. What looked like endless wealth was actually a bottomless pit, and Spain was sinking deeper every year, the Homan cost. While kings debated and armies marched, ordinary people paid the price. Taxes soared, peasants abandoned their fields, food shortages swept across the countryside. Farms that once fed villages became empty stretches of land. Cities swelled with the hungry and the hopeless. Work became scarce, crime rose. And in the midst of this suffering came the Inquisition. Thousands of Jewish and Muslim artisans, skilled craftsmen and merchants were expelled. These were the people who built Spain's economy. the ones who understood trade, production, and finance. With their removal, Spain lost more than labor. It lost knowledge. It lost innovation. It lost the foundation of a healthy society. Wealth gathered at the top, but the people beneath that wealth were collapsing. The empire cracks. As the 17th century dawned, Spain still appeared magnificent from a distance. Vast territories, glorious cathedrals, armies marching under banners of gold and crimson. But up close, the cracks widened. The treasury was nearly empty. Inflation strangled the economy. Production was almost non-existent. Spain had built an empire on treasure, but not on strength. And when the treasure faltered, everything it supported crumbled with it. History's quiet warning. Spain's downfall is more than a tale of kings and wars. It's a lesson, a warning whispered across centuries. An empire can be unimaginably wealthy, yet profoundly weak. Gold can buy armies, ships, alliances, but it cannot buy stability. True power doesn't come from treasure. It comes from production, from innovation, from discipline, from people. Spain wasn't defeated by enemies. It wasn't defeated by poverty. It was defeated by the illusion of endless wealth. An empire blinded by its own riches, unknowingly built the path to its downfall. And that is the tragedy of Spain. The empire that drowned, not in poverty, but in gold.